Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. I am Pooja Divedi, and in this segment we bring to you objective questions on a daily basis to help you crack prelims, beginning with the last segment's practice question. Which of the following services an IFSC can provide? Fundraising services for individuals, corporations and governments, global tax management and cross-border tax liability optimization, risk management operations such as insurance and reinsurance, merger and acquisition activities among transnational corporations. We have to select the correct statement. All of them are correct. Option D is the correct answer. To speed up dispute resolution, Finance Minister announced the setting up of an international arbitration center at Gift City. Fundraising services for individuals, corporations and governments are among one of the services of IFSC, along with asset management and a global portfolio diversification undertaken by pension funds, insurance companies and mutual funds. Wealth management, global tax management and cross-border tax liability optimization, which provides a business opportunity for financial intermediaries, accountants and law firms. Global and regional corporate treasury management operations that involve fundraising, liquidity investment and management and asset liability matching. Risk management operations such as insurance and reinsurance. Merger and acquisition activities among transnational corporations. Moving on. Consider the following statements. Sri Ramanujacharya is revered worldwide as a Vedic philosopher, social reformer and one of the most important exponents of Shaivite tradition. He was also referred to as Ilaya Perumal, which means the Radiant One. We have to select the correct statement. Only the second is correct. Option B is the correct answer. The Prime Minister will inaugurate the Statue of Equality, a gigantic statue of Ramanujacharya ji, on February 5th on the outskirts of Hyderabad. Born in 1017 CE at Sri Perumbudur, India, Ramanujacharya ji is revered worldwide as a Vedic philosopher, social reformer and one of the most important exponents of Sri Vaishnava tradition. In his 120 years of life, he travelled across Bharat, understanding the way of life in all sections at the same time, focusing on individual needs. He was also referred to as Ilaya Perumal, which means the Radiant One. Consider the following statements. The concept of blue economy was introduced by Gunter Pauli. Blue economy supports all the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, especially SDG 11. So we have to select the not correct statement. Second one is not correct. First one is correct. Option B is the correct answer. Union Minister said that the Government of India's vision of New India by 2030, enunciated in February 2019, highlighted the blue economy as the sixth dimension of its vision. The concept was introduced by Gunter Pauli in his 2010 book, The Blue Economy, 10 years, 100 innovation, 100 million jobs. It is the sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improved livelihoods and jobs, and ocean ecosystem health. It advocates the greening of the ocean development strategies for higher productivity and conservation of ocean's health. Blue economy emphasizes on integration of development of ocean economy with social inclusion, environmental sustainability combined with innovative business model. This is reflected in Sustainable Development Goal number 14, which calls to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas and marine resources for sustainable development. Consider the following statements regarding state election commissions. The state election commissions are free to prepare their own electoral rolls for state elections. They are governed mainly by the Representation of People Act 1951. So we have to select the correct statement. Option D is the correct answer. The Law and Justice Minister recently told the Rajya Sabha that the centre was not planning on amending the Representation of the People Act 1951 to enable a common electoral roll and simultaneous elections to all electoral bodies in the country. Each state election commissions are governed by a separate state act. Some state laws allow the SEC to borrow and use the election commissions of India's voters' roll for the local body election. In others, the State Commission uses the EC's voter list as the basis for the preparation and revision of rolls for municipality and panchayat election, and few states have their own electoral rolls and do not adopt EC's role for local body polls like Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Odisha, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Kerala, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland and Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. The SECs can supervise municipal and panchayat elections. They are free to prepare their own electoral roll for local body election, and this exercise does not have to be coordinated with the Election Commission. Consider the following statements. Chilika is the world's largest lagoon. Chilika Lake was designated the first Indian wetland of international importance. Major attraction at Chilika is Irrawaddy dolphins, which are often spotted off Sattapada Island. So we have to select the correct statement. First is not correct. Second and third are correct. Option B is the correct answer. The Chilika Development Authority, the regulating authority of Chilika, the largest brackish water lake in South Asia, recently carried out an annual flora and fauna survey of the lagoon. Chilika is Asia's largest and world's second largest lagoon. In 1981, Chilika Lake was designated the first Indian wetland of international importance under Ramsar Convention. Major attractions at Chilika is Irrawaddy dolphin, which are often spotted off Sattapada Island, the large Nalabana Island, covering about 16 square kilometers in the lagoon area, was declared a bird sanctuary in 1987. 𝐾𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐡𝐭𝐢 temple is located on the island of the Chilika Lake. Chilika Lake hosts birds migrating from thousands of miles away from the Caspian Sea, Lake Baikal, Aral Sea, from remote parts of Russia, Kyrgyz steppes of Mongolia, Central and Southeast Asia, Ladakh and Himalayas. The birds find the vast mud field and abundant fish stock here suitable to congregate. Moving on. Consider the following statements. Under Article 82, the Parliament enacts a Delimitation Act after every census. Under Article 170, states also get divided into territorial constituencies as per the Delimitation Act after every census. We have to select the correct statement. Both are correct. Option C is the correct answer. The Jammu and Kashmir Delimitation Commission, which was constituted on March 6, 2020, is likely to get a second extension of its term this month. This may further delay any announcement of assembly election in the Union Territory. Under Article 82, the Parliament enacts a Delimitation Act after every census, and under Article 170, states also get divided into territorial constituencies as per the Delimitation Act after every census. Once the Act is enforced, the Union government sets up Delimitation Commission. However, the first delimitation exercise was carried out by the President with the help of the Election Commission, of course, in 1950-51. The Delimitation Commission Act was enacted in 1952, and the commission have been set up 4 times actually, under the Acts of 1952, 1962, 1972 and 2002. There was no delimitation after the 1981 and 1991 census. Consider the following statements with respect to Chandrayaan mission. The Chandrayaan 3 will be carrying a rover and lander only. Chandrayaan 2 was supposed to make a soft landing on the north pole of the moon. So we have to select the correct statement. I apologize for the spelling mistake of Chandrayaan in the second statement. So yes, if we talk about the correct statement, first is correct, second is not. Option A is the correct answer. Indian Space Research Organization will make its third venture to the moon through the Chandrayaan 3 mission in August this year. The third mission will carry only a modified lander and rover and will use the orbiter of Chandrayaan's second mission to communicate with the Earth. The space agency planned for a third lunar mission after its lander rover failed to do soft landing on the surface of the moon in 2019. And the same year, Israeli Bear Sheet also crashed on the surface of the moon. A soft landing will actually make India the 4th country to do soft landing on the South Pole and the first country to do near that. The lunar South Pole, which was targeted by Chandrayaan 2, is especially interesting because the lunar surface area that remains in the shadow is much larger than the North Pole. India had previously crashed a probe at what is now called the Jawahar Point on the moon. With respect to the private member bill, in the Indian Parliament, consider the following statements. A member of Parliament who is not a minister is a private member. The MP who wants to move a private member's bill has to give at least a month's notice. No private member's bill has been passed by the Parliament since 1970. We have to select the correct statement. All are correct. Option D is the correct answer. As many as 172 private members' bills are scheduled to be introduced in the Lok Sabha on Friday, that is today. A member of Parliament who is not a minister is a private member. The bills introduced by private members are referred to as private members' bill. These are either drafted by the member of the Parliament or his staff. The MP who wants to move a private member's bill has to give at least a month's notice. The private member bill is only introduced and discussed on Fridays. In case of multiple bills, a ballot system is used to decide the sequence of bills for introduction. No private member's bill has been passed by the Parliament since 1970, and this is according to PRS Legislative Research. Kristalina Georgieva, who is the current managing director of the International Monetary Fund and has been in the news, belongs to which of the following countries? The correct answer is option C, Bulgaria. The Union Budget presented by Finance Minister is a very thoughtful policy agenda for India. It is said by Kristalina Georgieva, who is the Managing Director of IMF. She is a Bulgarian environmental economist. She was the Chief Executive of the World Bank from 2017 to January 2019. In October 2019, she joined the IMF as MD. In January 2018, Paul Romer, the then chief economist of the World Bank, first raised doubts over the World Bank's EODB, that is Ease of Doing Business rankings. The World Bank suspended the rankings in August 2020 after finding some data irregularities between October 2017 and 2019 that were inconsistent with the methodology used. Which of the following is not a responsibility or duty of the Controller General of Accounts? Establishing and managing a technically sound management accounting system, responsible for preparation and submission of the accounts of the Union Government, reconcile cash balance of the Central and Reserve Bank of India and annual accounts of Central Government, to prepare and submit accounts to the President, Governors of State and Administrators of Union Territories having Legislative Assembly. So option D here is the correct answer. It's not the duty of Controller General of Accounts. Let's know why. Sonali Singh has been given the charge of Controller General of Accounts. The Controller General of Accounts derives the mandate from Article 150 of the Constitution. This statutory mandate, as incorporated in the Allocation of Business Rules 1961, brings out the duties and responsibilities of CGA. The CGA is responsible for establishing and managing a technically sound management accounting system, responsible for preparation and submission of the accounts of the Union Government and reconcile cash balance of the Centre with the Reserve Bank of India and annual account of the Central Government, responsible for exchequer, control and internal audits, while preparing and submitting accounts to the President, Governors of States and Administrators of Union Territories having Legislative Assemblies is the duty of Controller and Auditor General of India, CAG. Okay. The capital of which of the following is situated on the Barada River? The correct answer is option D. Syria's capital, Damascus. The leader of the Islamic State, Abu Ibrahim al-Quraishi, is dead following a US raid in the northern Syria that also killed a senior deputy of the terror group. Syria is a country located on the east coast of the Mediterranean Sea in Southwest Asia. Its area includes territory of the Golan Heights that has been occupied by Israel since 1967. The capital is Damascus on the Barada River, situated in an oasis at the foot of Mount 𝐾𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐡𝐭𝐢. Moving on. Let's look at the practice question for the next segment. With reference to the electoral bonds, consider the following statements. Electoral bonds have a maximum limit of ₹1 crore. The RBI is authorized to issue and encash these bonds. Electoral bonds are only redeemable in the designated account of a registered political party. We have to select the correct statement. So we shall meet again soon. Answer it correctly and take care.